Okay, we are live. Welcome to yet another edition of the Padded Room. We have technical difficulties starting right off.
Of course.
Why not?
Can you hear us, Ricky?
Yeah, I can now. Yeah.
Because Ricky did it.
Oh, I don't know. I'd give up on life. I'd,
Oh, jeez. All right,
It's just
we have a
been one.
suicide.
Perfect. What a great way to start the show.
It's been one of them. It's been one of them. My life, Jesus.
And there's the ever beautiful Amy. Yes, you, Blondie.
Hello.
Hello.
The ever beautiful and potentially masochistic because she's coming to do
She's
this
coming back. And this poor girl has to put up with me. And she's like, yeah, sure. Come back from Arizona and come live with me in Ohio. This poor girl.
You were braver than I am. Jen, I love you
Seriously,
to death, but after 2 days, I think I'd kill you.
I lucked out. I'm the one who lucked out. So it's all good.
Anyway, today our supposed topic is urban legends. I have an entire encyclopedia, so I'm ready. Is anybody else?
Totally.
Not in the least.
Excellent.
But I think that
Man, we were counting on you, Ricky. Give us some urban legends from over there.
we don't have a great deal of really good ones. You know, I mean, you've got your Loch Ness monster, which, you know, we can go into details, you know, and that will take us down the rabbit hole of, you know, the Marianas Trench and all the other areas of the ocean that we have no clue what is going on. But no, there's a few, but we don't have the rich tapestry that you guys over there have got. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going into Sasquatch and all the other stuff that you folks have.
That was a very diplomatic way of saying bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ever polite Ricky Fleet.
And there's Jen doing her best to improve international relations.
We haven't been to war yet.
Yeah,
in my
give it
lifetime.
time. Yeah, no, give it time. The way things are going, Jesus.
Side right now. Like, okay, this bitch. Mate.
Okay, Jack, lay an urban legend on us, dude.
All right. Well, I got one that's from a little small town, and so that's how you automatically know it's not real because it was made up by like 10 people mostly back in like the 1800s. But there's this old Civil War era cemetery, and they say if you go through, I think it's between 2 and 3 at night, and you drive really slow through the cemetery, at some point you'll see shadows start flicking back and forth across your vehicle, you know, blinding even your headlights. And it's apparently this winged creature that flies around guarding that cemetery. And as long as you're not there to mess with anything or do anything wrong, and it's just kind of watching you and taking you on out, it'll leave you alone. Well, one night we're driving through there, because again, I don't really buy all that stuff. We're riding through, and I'm like, dude, because I had a buddy with me, and we were a little lit. I'm like, dude, wouldn't it be cool as hell as if we were riding along, all of a sudden something went right across the front of the car. And as I'm saying that, and my finger drags across, a shadow goes across the front of the vehicle. We literally look at each other like, and it's like, dude, nope, whoop, whoop. Me and my little 4-cylinder Chevette ripped up out of that place as fast as we could possibly go without killing ourselves. We're riding down the road, and we get about a mile and a half away, and again, we see this shadow flick back and forth across over the car. We keep rolling. Never saw anything else again after that. I mean, hence we're still alive. We didn't have a, horror movie moment. But yeah, I've never been back to that cemetery, even though I don't necessarily believe in that stuff. I'm still like, just in case.
Well, it's a good thing you were driving a vet. You could get out of there. I mean, it wasn't a Chevette, but still.
Shove it.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we didn't shove it.
The real question The real question is, how big was the blunt you guys were smoking?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't smoke
Mhm.
blunts back there in that time frame. Back then, we just passed the old jizzies back and forth. Just a nice little joint, rolled up tight, back and forth, and then cruise along. But yeah, that was one of the moments in life where I look back and I go, I try to be like full on. I don't believe in anything other than what I see. But that one night, it sticks with me. Like, dang it, that's the one thing that makes me question myself, because I was there, I saw it, I know it happened.
That's the
We'll
one
make a
thing.
believer of you yet, Jack.
Do what?
We'll make a believer of you yet.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's the one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not buying it either. I think there's more.
But it was some weird shit, man. It was some seriously weird. So yeah, that's my big urban legend thing,
And that's in Tennessee, in a small town in Tennessee.
Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. I can't
Okay.
remember the little grave, the little cemetery, but trust me, it was a small one. There couldn't have been more than 200 people at most in this old little cemetery. Like, most of the tombstones are even starting to crumble away. Like, it's that kind of old, creepy
Yeah.
place where stoners go smoke weed. Creepy places like that. So there we were, and all we were doing was just cruising through. We didn't need, well, I take that back a lot. We did get out, and we went and kind of wandered around, looked at a few tombstones, but we didn't mess with nothing because we were nerd kids. We weren't out there to tear stuff up. We were just out there to look because it was cool. And then we get back in the car, start freaking leaving, and all of a sudden Batman is flying around over a freaking car. But then he couldn't stay within his own realm. He chased us out. So somebody didn't have good rooms up, Jim.
Yeah. Tim has checked in with his advice on how to improve marital relations.
He's failing.
Yeah.
I'm a boss.
Yes.
I've got a good one for you. Comes from the good old city of London. I looked into a few over the past sort of day or two, and this one come back to me. I completely forgotten about it. But the legend of Spring-Heeled Jack. Now this is going to take us down some interesting paths. So I'll read out what is written because it will lay it out better than me just rambling on nonsensically. So.
But we like it when you do that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a good viewing experience for all the 7 people who turn up. But some urban myths are dismissed as just that, a myth. But when Polly Adams was attacked in London in 1838, reports of Spring-Heeled Jack, a superhuman man with the ability to leap over entire buildings and spit fire, only increased. One of the alleged victims, Jane Alsop, described her attacker. Now this is where we get to the interesting bit. He was wearing a kind of helmet and a tight-fitting white costume like an oilskin, and he vomited blue and white flames. While this sounds unreal, descriptions of similar attacks continued to arise at the time. The Mayor of London received many complaints of a creature with fiery eyes and icy claws terrorising the city. Many have attempted to explain Spring-Heeled Jack, but sightings continue periodically up until 1904. Leaping over buildings, up and down streets and over rooftops. Taking it back to the description, what's the first thing that comes to your minds when you hear he's wearing a kind of helmet, tight-fitting white costume like oilskin, and spewing blue and white flames?
I'm curious. I didn't know London had Taco Bell that long.
God.
Other end.
I was going to say, I think they're slightly different colour flames, but
And first off, I don't do that anymore. That was a past life. This is a new life. So don't worry. Okay.
But the first thing that came to, sprung to my mind was time travel of a sort, and somebody perhaps investigating the time period or whatever, then being discovered, then trying to escape. The clothing was so out of the ordinary for the time. That's one of the things that they remarked about the most.
With the
How weird.
Thing.
Yeah, I don't know whether that was different accounts of it say that it's coming from what we were talking about a minute ago with the Taco Bell.
Could it be like salsa meat?
Well, I'm thinking like a type of jetpack. Because we've pretty much got them at the moment. The only thing that is you see the Navy SEALs using them and the Royal Marines using them to board sort of ships now. Like I say, that all, back in the day, I'd completely forgotten about it, but that always fascinated me in terms of that sounds like someone traveling in time.
But what would be the need for the helmet?
Don't know.
He's
It
got a
doesn't.
jetpack.
Well, I mean,
It doesn't go into it's very vague. It doesn't go into any more details about the helmet, but like the skin type white oil skin suit. We're talking Marvel Cinematic Universe here. All that kind of craziness. But that one always sort of blew me away a little bit in terms of
that is pretty cool.
I'm going to say time traveler from the 70s who got some really freaking good blow, and now he doesn't know what's up. Now he's just kind of all over the goddamn place. He's like quantum leap, like just all over.
Oh shit, this ain't my house.
And all he wants to do is disco back into the bathroom where he did those bumps, and that's all he wants. But he just can't. It's really good stuff.
I thought those were fucking clean, man.
And you guys are worried about her?
Taco Bell and Pack.
I mean,
Indeed.
it's the same thing, isn't it?
Well,
flame shooting out of somebody's ass.
Right? So I started watching The Watcher last night on Netflix, and The Watcher is based on a true story of a family who buys this home, and they start getting these weird letters in the mail, and they are signed The Watcher, and somebody knows exactly everything that they're doing. They know their kids' names and all of that, and they were pretty much harassed, but nobody could ever figure out who the Watcher was. It's still unsolved. So I'm trying to watch this thing last night, and I think it's Ryan Murphy. He does like the American Horror Story, and he did the Dahmer thing and all of that. And it's just a complete work of fiction. The only thing that's real, or the only thing that's even like taken from a true story, are the letters. But it's a bunch of horse shit, really. But if you take it for what it.
Horse shit from Hollywood? No way.
She just lost her mic.
Say it ain't so.
Somebody was excited about what they had to say.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I finished watching it earlier, and
So did I.
it started off good, and it just it ended.
Still don't hear you.
It ended with like just a long, drawn out fart that just tapered off to a dribble.
I really liked the show when I watched it. I really liked it. It was really, really cool. But
you guys, The Watcher?
Yeah, there we
totally
go.
Just fucked with me.
Yeah.
They got your number, girl.
You're gonna get a
Good thing I'm at my parents' house. Good thing I'm watching my parents' house. Bring it, motherfucker. No.
Yeah.
The Watch. It's a great show. It's a great show.
Like, don't say anything bad about us.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful show. Very well done.
What streaming service is it on? Where's it at?
Netflix.
Damn it, I ain't got Netflix, Jen.
I got you.
All right.
One show that I am looking forward to, and I know it's going to disappoint me massively because I'm excited for it, is oh God, for Christ's sake, I'm that excited about it. I can't even remember.
So
it now.
excited.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
I'm excited to watch that too. Yes.
It's like a series of 8 horror shorts, and it looks great. So it is going to be utterly shite.
Yeah, probably. The same way. Especially if M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's doing it.
Yeah, but I like his stuff.
I like his stuff too, but he always lets you down at the end.
Yeah,
just like that movie.
Like most men.
Most men.
All
yes,
men.
ma'am. My favorite urban legend, and I don't know if this is just an Ohio thing, but I remember growing up where it was always Bloody Mary. Look in the mirror, say her name 3 times, and she appears. And I know that they did a Supernatural episode about it. Actually, I believe it was even based in Toledo. I think that one was, because the main guy is from Toledo. He's from Sylvania, but yeah, he they did one based in Toledo. I'm pretty sure it was the Bloody Mary one that was possible. No, I think it was a different one. Anyways, yeah, Bloody Mary is one of my more favorite ones because I was never I hate mirrors. Mirrors scare the shit out of me. So
Man must have fucked with you too.
And he scares the shit out of
That
me
one actually
too.
got
First
me. I
thing
would
in the
not-
morning.
I was going to say, Jeff, imagine having this looking back at you.
Oh, I know. I wake up, stumble into the bathroom, and it's like, ah!
no, I don't have any mirrors in my room ever. I will not. I'll cover mirrors just because of my personal beliefs and religious beliefs. And I know that they're doorways, and I'm like, I can't do the mirrors thing. Mirrors belong in bathrooms, and that is it.
Are you secretly a
Doorway.
vampire?
No.
Doorway
No,
looking
see
at my
my
beautiful face.
reflection.
Vampire would say.
I can
On
see
that-
my reflection. I just
No,
they freak me out because they're doorways to,
Yeah.
other.
but Jen, of all the rooms that have a doorway, the bathroom, I sure as hell wouldn't want anybody watching me do that.
It's exactly why.
I get
Because
all the
it's like,
faces.
if you want to watch me, you're going to watch me shitting and have fun with that.
You get good money for
You're
that.
never going to want to watch me again.
No, you
Yeah.
get really good money for that.
You can.
Oh,
And there
I knew
are
somebody was
weirdos
gonna
that
go
like
there.
to watch that. Okay.
Even
Oh.
ghouls have their kinks,
True.
Come on.
Not wrong.
So Tim's talking about the story of the scuba diver who was found in a burnout forest, and that's absolutely true. What?
Ooh, I'd never heard of that.
He just went to explain what
Mm-hmm.
I was going to.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Explain.
Um,
On the fire.
His ass.
Never true though, but you got to wonder what would go through a poor bastard's mind though.
Probably his ass if he was dropped from a fucking helicopter.
Yeah,
Possibly.
mhm. Eventually, his
Mm-hmm.
ass would go through his mind. Yeah.
that would not
Yeah.
be one.
Well, you
So
know,
it never happened.
Apparently,
I mean, it sounds
This
like
is
something
not-
that could.
allegedly.
Yeah, it says it could happen. Definitely
Well,
could.
that's the thing about urban legends is that they're all like,
It could.
it could
Yeah.
happen. Like even
Yeah.
Candyman
I mean,
Yeah.
has
the
the
urban legends were exaggerations. They were
right.
like a true story and then emphasizing it. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, this smaller thing actually happened, but we're gonna make it bigger, and it just kind of grew.
Yeah.
As
And that's
Weird.
what they're doing with the Watcher. Do not cut off my mic.
She was looking around like, who's there?
I know.
Got me.
Have you checked your basement for tunnels yet?
No.
Oh, that's what we need to
Oh.
do, Amy.
Oh no, I've been down there several times. That's just the one that I put in there. It's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. I know where.
Tunnel.
If you hear screaming, just don't worry about it. I'll be home later.
Ignorant.
why do you have a boombox about 300 yards into it? Not that I'm there or anything, but
Stop spying on people, Jack. You've already got restraining orders.
Oh,
okay. What's one more?
speaking of Jen,
Exactly.
did you like what I did with the kitchen?
It's pretty.
She hasn't made it
The
there yet.
ceiling?
Now I don't tend to look up a lot because I'm.
How did you
Oh
miss
my
that?
God.
How
I
did you
don't
miss
know.
that?
I don't know. Apparently, I
You
was
need-
too enthralled with the cats.
You need to let us
Oh.
in on this.
I
What
know
did
we,
you
we
do?
have.
all about some fuzzy pussy.
Can I show them?
Yeah, of course.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Oh,
I've had a hole
God.
in my kitchen ceiling for a couple of years now. I need to get it fixed because of the plumbing, but I fixed it.
Wow.
I don't know if you
Perfect.
can see it. Can you see the basket? And there's lotion in the basket.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And
Love it.
So I don't know if you can.
I'm like,
Picture
what?
of
What are you
Buffalo Bill?
talking about?
see,
What's
there's
going
that, and then
on? She made
Mhm.
Home Improvement. Oh my God! Yes, there is a
Yep.
You
picture
need to blow up a
too.
big picture of Buffalo Bill so he's looking down.
It's
Ow.
right
he's in
there.
there. He's
It's
there.
in there.
He's
I
there.
Yes.
I couldn't
I
see
just
it.
saw a meme with that. I just saw a meme.
Oh, did
with that.
you?
I don't know if
It's
you
there.
shared it.
Yep, I got the idea from TikTok.
Would
So
you stop it, Lula?
I cannot take all the credit. I just did the execution, and I just happen to have the perfect place for such a setup.
Exactly. And it's actually a lot better than the one on TikTok.
No,
to be
that one's
honest.
really freaking good.
It was
really
good,
freaking
but
good.
I think this one's a lot better.
And I got
really
that
do.
basket for free on Facebook on one of the free sites, and my
Lotion was on the
post
counter.
was my post was looking for a free basket, something maybe for lotion. So because
Oh, my
got something
Jesus.
for ya.
Yeah. Tim, no, that's not an urban legend. It's just proof that people are fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, they just got in trouble.
Yeah.
Isn't that the ones that just got in
Yeah.
trouble and were in the
They
news?
got arrested for it.
I thought this was Merca.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Well,
something out
yeah,
of
but-
Super Troopers.
Well, you can't
no.
call yourself the land of the free if you can't shoot each other to test body armor.
Apparently,
What
they-
are you, England?
God.
What were they arrested for exactly?
Probably, I don't know where exactly it was.
It was probably firing weapons in city limits or something.
If it was within
Never happened
city
yet.
limits, yeah, that would be it. But let's find out.
I mean,
But let's look at the positive. They both proved their body armor works perfectly.
That
At
is
least
true.
one.
the whole thing is what if one of the body
Uh-oh.
armors failed?
The Watcher.
Watch it.
Everybody's
We're losing you, Dan.
You know, it's funny. My internet's not being interrupted, but all of you freeze. And it's always when
Yeah.
I'm talking, I'm like, I know they're doing this on purpose. They all just go like this. And I'm all like,
We're
My
snickering
internet's
to
fine.
ourselves while you're panicking. Like,
you've been planning it all week. I can tell.
As a professional creature, I will tell you this much, Dan. What is happening happens to me. Everybody else keeps moving. I keep moving. But then all of a sudden the swirlies start happening.
See, I just get all of you frozen. Now, Jen, she gets this look on her face. Sometimes it looks like she's frozen, but she's not because I'll see her make a smirk. So she's taking me out.
I've got to admit, the cast tonight is very poor. Everyone's got swirlies and whirlies and all kind of earlies going on.
Solar flares.
Did you guys do like peyote before this? Were we
think
supposed
so.
to?
negative.
You
I didn't get the memo.
And nobody told me shit.
Right?
We've done it anyway.
Communication here is awful.
Where's the LSD when you need it? That's what I
Hey,
want to know.
As the conductor, I checked everybody's bags before they got on this thing, and I didn't see no peyote because otherwise.
No, it's already inside us, Jack. Don't you worry about that. We've already consumed. So bringing it back to England again. Many tales have been written about it, and to some degree, it has existed. But the legend of King Arthur, Merlin, the Knights of the Round Table.
True.
You know what? How much of that do you think? Once again, is it sort of Jack's opinion in terms of, because we know something like that happened and he existed in some form or other, but how much of the stories, the Lady of the Lake and Merlin and the magic and all the wizardry and all that and Morgana, is it Morgana? I haven't watched it for
Yeah,
quite
it's
some time.
Morgana.
But how much
Into
of
our
it,
version?
wouldn't that be awesome if all that was real as well?
Yeah, see, I'm seeing
That'd be cool.
right there is that King Arthur is actually cutting across the area there, and he comes across this chick sitting on a rock, looking down at her feet, and there's a sword in the mud, and she's like, "Hey, mate, there's a sword over here. Do you want it? £5, it's yours." So he comes freaking walking over, and he's like, "Oh, this is bloody stuck in the mud."
Why does it always sound like a Victorian chimney sweep?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Paul McCartney.
Hey, at least
So are you a closet Liverpudlian? Is that what's going on, Jack?
what now? But so
Inquiring minds want to know.
sword. but then the people around it saw it and they decided, hey, it's a bigger story than that.
Well, as Tim says, he's not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
I knew it.
Damn it!
Absolutely knew it.
I had that on my parlay. Screwed me there. Dang.
Imagine that. So, Dungeon Dan. Urban legend. Hit us. Come on.
He's just gonna sit still for a second.
And
and he
Yeah, the internet dropped
yeah.
via the red close. Oh, Jen's gone as well. It's the Watcher.
how suspicious.
I'm here.
You weren't for a second.
Ah.
We had the word gig of death.
So it falls on you, Jason.
Look, the only urban legend I ever think about it, I just found it the funniest, was the goddamn alligators in the city sewers.
Oh yeah.
I always thought that crap
movie.
was hilarious because, like, as a small kid, you'll buy that, but then you
Yep.
get older, you start, okay, there's no way that can, and then you
You're
meet
like,
adults
how?
who still buy it.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
There's
But
even
with
Oh,
the
for
one Jack
crying
I was
out
talking
loud,
about
Dan.
earlier,
That was me this
Jack.
time. All right.
I'm a
whatever.
firm
Big Jack
believer
talking about
of
it.
reptiles within drainage systems because I'm going to be writing about them in the next couple of days, so they do exist.
Excellent.
ah. Damn.
Excellent.
Hey, Dan's back.
I made it.
All right, so continue on, Jason.
Yeah, carry on, bud.
Well, you have to start over. I can't. I didn't hear nothing.
All right, well, hang on, hold up. Wait.
Is that against me, Jack?
No, I was whistling to start the play over again.
You're not
Must have
wearing
heard
your
that a lot that
referee
yesterday.
uniform.
Don't make me get on Amazon.
Don't threaten me with a
Hey,
good
hold on,
time,
hold on.
buddy.
You won't.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do
guys,
it.
that's the plan. We're gonna see how much weird crap we can get Jack to buy.
How many different outfits we can get him
right
to
before
get.
house, but I'll wardrobe.
We need to get him an alligator mask.
I'm sure he wears Crocs. If we just
Well,
have him
well,
wear
well,
Crocs.
Oh, what?
Never worn a pair of Crocs in my life. I'm a
Oh,
Jason
thank the
Voorhees
gods.
fan. He looked at a pair of those and went, "What the fuck?"
Good
How
man.
did those shoes get popular?
I don't know. People are wearing them all over the place. It's insane.
I see
Even
people
pool
walking around
people.
here. I'm just like, why are you wearing those big
Oh.
plastic shoes?
They remind me of jail shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They,
Haven't
that's
been
what
to
they
jail,
remind me.
so I don't know about that.
The
Them and
the only
flip-flops.
reason I know is because I worked there, so I would hand them out. Here's your Crocs.
We wore sandals.
Short amount of time hanging out there.
Yeah,
What
we
do you
didn't
got
have
on the
Crocs. We
matcha?
wore sandals.
Not all jails have sandals. oh, you weren't
Not
talking
all
about
jails.
jails, huh?
No, it was totally jail. It was totally
Oh.
jail. And I had to wear the stupid socks with them. I felt like a damn hippie.
Yeah, well, I mean, they cross over as shower shoes as well. Because trust me, you don't want to step on that floor.
No.
I just come to say hello.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, baby.
You got your doggy.
Yep.
Screw y'all. I will not be left alone in this.
I got a cat yelling at me in the background because she
I know.
wants to go
She wants
outside.
out.
Yeah,
Is
Yell at me.
that what
she's
you
very
put
vocal
around
about
you?
it.
Is it the same
Lula.
cat that was stalking you in the picture?
No,
That's bad cop Leo.
that's bad cop. This is a dilute Torty who has just realized that I'm not a terrible person, and she has gotten brave, and she lets me know when she needs to go outside, and apparently
And
she
you
needs to go
ignore her.
outside, and I do sometimes. Until right now, I'll be back.
Yeah,
Okay.
just let her outside.
So how's the kitten rescue thing going, Jamie?
Awesome.
Please.
Really?
Excellent.
I've got staying at my parents' house for a few days while they're out of town. So I have 2 upstairs with me, and then I have 2 more at the house with Jen, and then I've got 4 at a foster home right now. So we're just, getting them all ready so that they can be adopted out, getting them vaccinated, getting them spayed and neutered. So,
Yep.
and yeah, it's moving along pretty well.
Hey, honestly, if I had the room and I had the money to do it, I'd have done adopted everyone you got. Because I'm all.
Oh, you would have loved it too.
I can't remember his little name, but he was laying on his little bed and his arms were just stuck out.
That's Marmalade.
That's Marmalade, yeah.
That's who. Yeah, that's who he's talking about. Is Marmalade. He is just such a sweetie. And there's a couple other ones that we have that are just amazing. They like to come up while I'm typing and working, and they'll lay right on my bed right next to me. They brother and sister pair. They don't have to go together. They can be separated, but yeah, they're adorable. All of the cats are adorable. And then we just like love them and until they love us.
Right.
Yes.
Topic. Are there any urban legends about pets that y'all can?
Oh, I'm sure. Although this, I don't know if it's an urban legend. I'm pretty sure it's true that if you die, your cat's going to eat you if you die
totally.
and nobody finds you.
Protein,
Casket all the way.
I think they start at the eyeballs first. I'm not.
They
100%.
usually go for the face because there's more.
Remember cat's eyes?
Squishy.
Stephen
Fat.
King, you know, the whole cat's eyes. They come up there and get your face and suck your soul and eat your eyes.
Oh, that's probably the. I know there's a mother's. What is it? Amy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, where
Lifestyle.
the babies will, or cats will suck the breath out of babies.
Yes.
Because cats will sleep on top of babies because they're warm
Mm-hmm.
and will suffocate them. So,
And it's actually their face is actually going after the milk that's left over. You know, so
yeah,
of course it makes it seem like they're sucking their souls out, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I've got cats for every need, so I don't ask questions.
So now
We train them.
So what if you're just sleeping really soundly? Will they nibble on you?
My cat
If
Maya
they're feeling a bit peckish?
my cat Maya has done that. Like one time I was sick in bed for like 10 days. And I'm surprised I lasted that long. And I woke up and she's going like to my foot, she's going. I'm like, not yet, you psycho.
Is she ready yet?
Like still here. So
Since we're talking about animals, have you guys seen that new stupid show, My Possessed Pet? From
I've
Eli
negative.
Roth?
that. Is it on yet?
Oh yeah, it's on.
Oh boy.
So far, I've seen a possessed horse.
Huh.
It's not fun. I'm not enjoying the show at all.
That's an
Hello,
Eli
Angel.
Roth
Hello, Angel.
thing.
Yeah,
Are you-
Eli Roth.
Angel.
Yeah.
Baby train.
Legend has it that a train would roll through town and blow its horn at 5 a.m., waking everyone up. Too late to go back to sleep and too early to go to work. So bow, chicka bow wow.
Huh.
More baby being made.
Okay.
Thanks
That's
for
a whole
sharing,
nother-
Tim.
Maybe that was the real stork.
Maybe.
It was a train.
The hobo's getting off the train, meeting up with the ladies.
Not running a train, but
I
Ah.
Cleveland Steamers, you know, they're out there. They're in the lore.
So you're saying there's a mass of hobo babies out there?
That all look like Jack for some reason.
At birth, they got the
choo choo,
beard
motherfucker.
going.
All aboard.
All aboard.
These nuts.
Hogballs.
I know when to stop the line. Stop.
Yeah, you're late.
And you know that doesn't work, Jack.
And it's always after the fact. You're not preventing anything.
Yeah. You suck at your
No, no,
job,
I'm-
conductor.
You are
I'm
definitely a defaulted condom.
He lets it happen.
Oh,
Watches the
Angel,
train wreck.
Angel, you naive young man.
No. of
Has
course
it gone
did.
up? Of course it did.
Of
The
course
reels
it
are just an abstract concept at this point. Like
did. Who needs
we start out with
wheels?
a general
Where we're
idea,
going,
but
we don't
we'll
need
get there.
wheels.
Oh jeez.
And
What came first, the train or the wheel?
Whoever had the cigarette first. You'll know.
The wheel came second because I was there when we built the damn thing that y'all tear up every single freaking time we have a show. There's been a few times y'all pissed me off enough I tore the damn train up myself. But that is the answer to the question, is that the train came before the damn wheel and y'all just keep ripping them right off the studs
So,
every week.
okay, going back to urban legends, Ohio is full of
Full of
urban
them.
legends.
Mhm.
I mean, this place is weird. For one, we have like 5 different Sasquatch,
Yeah.
all different names. We have a lizard man. We have the Loveland Frog Man.
Mhm.
We've got our own Nessie, and she's in Lake Erie. All like haunted bridges, however many haunted bridges you want, we got
Everything
them.
is haunted out here.
Yeah, we've-
Everything.
Got one I'd forgotten about from my childhood, but yeah, the haunted bridge thing.
We've got the headless motorcycle
Yep.
rider. We've got Helltown. There's like an entire just like
I've heard
deserted
about
town.
Helltown.
Is that the one that's smoking?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't it
Yeah,
the one that's the
'cause-
underground coal mine that's still
Yes.
burning after
Yep.
all these years?
Still
Fascinating.
burning.
I was
Mhm.
told they based the location of Silent Hill, the game, from that area.
Wouldn't
Because
surprise me.
'Cause
That
it
would be
was-
freaky as fuck.
Yeah.
You've also got the Cleveland Indians.
The
That's the
Guardians.
Guardians now, sir.
Okay, whatever.
behind the times, Mr. Jack.
Come on, bigot.
I somehow doubt they'd improve their winning percentage.
Hey, they used to be good at one point in time.
No, they are. They're
Nin-
like doing really well right
19
They're
now.
what?
they're
Yeah.
actually not doing too shabby, and the Browns are actually not doing too shabby. So hell must be upon us.
Oh, it's
No,
a
no,
sure
no.
sign of the apocalypse.
It's
Mhm.
must be freezing over now. Actual total apocalypse is when the Detroit Lions. Sorry, Amy, but when the Detroit Lions start doing something, we'll know it's definitely donezo.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Bag,
That's-
got my sword. I'm ready to fight. Here we go.
So Helltown actually, I know what you guys are talking about, and I feel like that town might be in West Virginia. I
Okay.
think it's like in the
Yeah.
some of the
Particular-
mining
That
towns.
particular one, yeah.
But according to onlyinyourstate.com, the area known as Helltown today was once known as Boston Mills. Have you guys ever heard of Boston Mills?
No.
It was bought out by
No.
the U.S. government to make way for Cuyahoga Valley National Park. And it was
Oh.
once a thriving town. Now it's a ghost town. And
That's right.
some people claim that the government actually closed down the town after some sort of chemical accident that caused these civilians or the citizens to mutate. And some people claim to have actually seen disfigured, mutated people still hiding in the area. And legend
They
has
all
it there's
moved to
also
Toledo.
they did. Legend has it there is also a decaying church with an upside down cross within the abandoned town that was once used for satanic worship. They always gotta throw
Always
that one in
go
there.
to satanic worship.
Always gotta throw that in
Right.
there.
If the Bible
so I-
Belt could come up this way, this high, it would be here, and literally just stop at the line, because all these people, you're either a follower of the church, whatever church, as long as you go to church, or you're a Satan worshiper.
Mhm.
It's neither. It's either here or there. It's not in the middle.
Angels.
So I heard of Helltown from a mockumentary. That's what it is, because they show pictures of the church, that whole upside down cross,
Mhm.
and you can just interpret it as that. Because if you look at the rest of the architecture, it's just
Probably just fell.
how they made it.
Yeah, it's hanging on by one bolt.
Yeah.
No, it's up there. It's just part of the building's decor. If you went around to the other side, there's another one, I think. I don't know, but the guys that made the mockumentary were fucking idiots, man.
Go figure.
Because I got to the end of this thing going, I doubt it. And I did look it up. And the whole thing was just a sham. The guy, the conspiracy guy is just a freaking actor. I mean, the whole thing was made up. So I was let down.
You mean it's not true? No way.
I know. And I saw it on TV.
I'm
Oh.
stunned.
I think that Appalachia, I know I always mispronounce.
Appalachia.
Well, we say Appalachia, but anybody who
Appalachian.
Appalachia.
you know what I'm talking about, and I apologize for mispronouncing it, but
I
you
don't.
you talk rebel. They'll get you first. You talk about some urban legends and some. I mean, not even these are things that they truly believe. Like you don't whistle out in the
Mhm.
woods,
Mhm.
and a lot of that is also with the indigenous beliefs and things like that. So there's a lot of TikTok storytellers, and makes me very nervous to be in a house with there are no curtains on the windows at night. But in the skinwalkers, there seems to be a lot of like skinwalkers
We call them
nowadays.
nudist. Here in Texas, they're just nudist.
That makes sense.
It
Ay,
really
ay,
does.
Perfect sense.
But yeah, that's just some naked people going, coming at your door and shit.
Oh, this one's real close. Crybaby Bridge in Ohio. It's in
Mhm.
Fremont. Supposedly the site where an unwed mother threw her unwanted baby from the bridge. People have reported hearing baby cries at night and sightings of the guilt-ridden ghost mother searching for her child. I guess my question would be how much of this like builds this energy and gives these spots and these fairy tales this energy and creates, I don't want to say poltergeist, but you can actually, by sitting here and constantly obsessing over things like some paranormal people do, you're giving life to these things and creating these apparitions at these particular spots.
Well, it's like there comes to a point where the story becomes the true narrative,
Yes.
you know?
Then you look at someplace like the Adirondacks, which is like upstate New York,
Mhm.
where you've got Sleepy Hollow, Rip Van Winkle, Miskatonic University, H.P. Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, those are from like the turn of the 19th century into the 20th.
I mean, there has to be some reason, for some of these stories.
Okay,
One
that's
weird night
an
nobody's not
interesting.
talking about.
That's an interesting question. The legend of the werewolf. My theory, because I mean, the werewolf is
The awesomest.
it's almost universal. There are stories of it in China. There's stories of it in the Slavic nations. There's stories of it in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is that it stems from human beings being truly fucked up like they are. You had some asshole out there who was savaging women. And
Go
rather
on.
than considering the possibility that this was done by a human being, because I mean you're talking 16th century, 15th century, rather than admit that human beings could be that fucked up,
Go on.
they
Tell me
invent.
what they did to the women.
Well, Jen.
Hey, whoa, that wasn't me.
Well, yes, but we've been talking about you.
Yeah. Sorry, force of habit.
doing a werewolf story
Yes.
for the Epic Mayhem universe.
Yes.
So, how would you portray it?
How would I portray my werewolf?
Ravaging. Your werewolf.
Oh God.
Jack.
No, now here's my question. I want to throw an extra addendum into that. What would your werewolf look like? How would it be built? Would it be some big hulking thing, or would it be an actual wolf? Would it?
I guess
But he look
Being-
Italian or
The hairy motherfucker is Italian.
Mamma
Those are some
mia.
hairy beasts.
Mhm.
But
Then fat smoking a cigar.
I think in human form it would be an extremely gorgeous, can't take your eyes off of him kind of a guy, or female, if it's a female, who would then ravage a male. But for me, I guess if you're trying, I guess what are you trying to impose fear, strike fear into the hearts of people? If you're trying to strike fear in the hearts of people, it's going to be everything that freaks me out about ever being around another person. What would scare me?
Ooh,
I'm thinking 5 o'clock shadow.
I like that.
But
I
that's
like
how
that, Jen.
that's how I do it. What would seriously, and I don't scare easy, or I don't portray, I don't you can't outwardly see that I'm afraid of things. But for me, it would have to be, if I'm afraid of it, it's going to be something pretty bad. For me, it would have to be somebody way bigger than myself. He would have to be ginormous. It would have to be a giant, hulking animal looking thing, and just stuff that I cannot defend myself against. So I guess in my writing of the werewolf type stuff, I would be putting in there where I feel weakest at to defend myself in real life.
and that's
So-
why
like
you're
it.
a writer.
I like it.
It's just it's I'm not worried about what's going to scare other people, because usually what scares me is going to scare someone else at the same time. But I think that if I worried and wrote about what freaked me out alone, I wondered where that cord was. What freaked me out alone, then I would definitely, if my book scares me, or if my writing scares me enough, I'm going to definitely feel better about writing something like that. So I think, I'm not worried about what frightens other people, because everybody has their triggers. Some people, it's just being in a small room with lots of stuff around them. That doesn't frighten me. What frightens me is being in a room where I can't see someone who's got claws that I cannot defend myself against, and somebody who is so stealthy that I won't see it coming.
Well,
So
that's
there's a startup.
Or it could be a really hairy person dressed as a clown
I married that.
in water,
I married that at one point and divorced
staring in
it.
a mirror.
Yeah,
But-
especially if there's clown features, I'm screwed.
my thing is, if something move quickly, if it can out move me, if I'm having to like stop
Yeah.
my play and okay, I got to make a move, and I go to move and it goes pew, versus like this big hulking thing that has stuff.
But see, if I'm seeing, that's you're working with physics that are of this world. If we're talking
Yeah.
about werewolves, we're talking about something mystical anyways. It's mythical, it's mystical, it doesn't work on the same plane that we do. Therefore, it can be massive, but it can also be stealthy and flighty, and it can move, because guess what? I'm the writer and I say it does.
Well,
You've perfectly described, like, has everybody seen American Werewolf in London?
That's
Oh,
what I
yes.
was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
It's that perfectly describes, and that when I first watched it many years ago, that part freaked me right out.
Mhm.
The American tourists, and they're in the British pub, and you've got that sort of that mistrust of the
Mhm.
strangers, and
Yes.
the tales, and then the Americans go off on their merry way across the moors, and then you've got that darkness that questions, and then the howling begins with the full moon, and then the attack. That whole thing is more terrifying to me than
Yeah.
like a horde of zombies or something, because
The anticipation.
you're in their environment. They can see you perfectly. You can't see them. You can't outrun them. You can't outsniff them. they've got every advantage in terms of senses over you. You know it's coming. There's nothing you can do about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like I say, that, you know, and then the entire film just, you know, just gets better from there. It's fucking awesome. But
Have you
Yeah,
seen
that-
the have,
We
have
said
you
that
seen the
werewolves-
movie?
Vampires. I said it.
what's that, Jack? Sorry.
I said werewolves are badasser than vampires.
Yeah, 100%.
And Asher. Interesting.
I made up a word. I can do that. I hang
Yeah, it
out-
works. I will allow it.
Well, if Ricky's satisfied, that's really all that matters.
I'm English. We birthed the language, so
Thank you. Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Oh, bloody hell, mate. Some tea.
Victorian chimney sweep again. Bit of Dick Van Dyke going on there.
Little Dick Van Dyke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might introduce you
He
to the
said
clip.
little dick.
I think
And there-
I'm projecting now, Jen. That's all it is.
Oh my God.
And speaking of Little Dungeon Dan,
Gone
Ah,
again.
Again. No way is that not the Watcher. No fucking way.
Well, and another thing that I wanted to say was my dumb ass would probably be like, if you stuck me in a room with a werewolf, I'd probably be like, oh, come here, puppy. I'm an idiot. I'm going to get killed by something that I want to pet that I shouldn't. That's going to kill me.
Yeah, but how do you know that's not the reaction that would actually tame them?
And you never know.
You know, instead of
Exactly.
screaming and running, be like, "Oh, you my
Oh,
good
come
boy,
here, baby.
Oh.
You just
Well,
need
that-
some love.
They
Have
just
you-
melt, and you've then got a werewolf pet.
Yeah.
Have you
there
ever
go.
seen What We Do in the Shadows? I think I don't remember if it was the movie or if it was the series, but it's the vampires always against the werewolves, and they go
I've
to
only
fight.
seen the film.
They go to fight the werewolves, and they've got this massive werewolf, and one of them takes I think a squeaky toy and throws it, and it goes over the ledge of the building, and the werewolf goes whoosh, and they're like, holy crap. Like this, yeah. So I mean that whole thing is really funny too. Like when you look at it like that, it's like, oh, okay, because they, always talk about how the werewolves stink and they're awful, and the vampires, like actually in the series, Laszlo has a garden that he's trimmed all of these hedges into the shapes of his favorite vulvas, and one of them
What?
is yeah,
Come
I'm
on.
not kidding you, it's
Yeah.
hysterical.
That
And one
sounds
of them
like
was
an
his
Edward
mom's.
Scissorhands porn.
Right. Well, one of them was his mom's, and the werewolves keep going and like pissing all over his mom's. And
my
so he's taking that
God.
as a slight. And so then they're like, so yeah, whenever anybody talks about werewolves, I always think about, like squeaky toys, and throwing it over the edge of a building.
All right, well, guys, I'm about to go help mom and whatnot, but before I do, let me leave you with a Tim Brooks Comment Ninja classic. Here's a good one. The Phil Collins song, In the Air Tonight, was about a drowning incident in which someone was able to help but didn't. And Collins, who was too far away to help but saw it and used the song, called them out. Y'all have fun with that.
That's a good.
Wow.
That's a good story, except no. From what I understand, it's about a shitty relationship he had. Which
Your
makes much
story's
more
not
sense
as good
than-
though, Jeff.
True,
No,
I
it's not.
know. I know.
And that is, I guess, part of urban legends. It's like how good of a story is it?
Mhm.
How entertaining is it? Does it scare the bejesus out of people?
Yeah.
Well,
I actually saw the interview. Phil Collins answered that it was actually about going through a divorce, which same difference.
I heard it was about a dog.
There it is. There's another one.
what about urban legends surrounding musicians, like the urban legend that Led Zeppelin fed one of their groupies to a shark, which didn't exactly happen that way.
God.
The blues guy who sold his soul to the devil at the
Yeah,
crossroads?
John Lee
Robert Johnson.
Hooker.
Robert Johnson.
Robert
Johnson.
Robert Johnson. Sorry, my bad.
Goddamn.
Which another
My favorite-
supernatural
I don't know.
episode.
A
I
lot
was,
of
I don't think it's an urban legend, but I want to know the Mars bar story with the Rolling Stones. I still want to know what the hell that was about.
The Mars
What?
bar story with the Rolling Stones.
What?
I'm not familiar.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
Give us,
I'm not
give us
either.
more,
Oh,
Jason.
you know, apparently there was some weird shit going on, and Keith Richards supposedly said, "No, we were right out at Mars bars that night." Like, I want to know what it was. Some sort of weird. It was the Stones. Come on, you know where this is going. Sex, drugs, literally everything. I just want to know the whole story. What went on with the Mars bar?
I've never
You're
heard
talking
of
about
Huh.
rock star ones. I want to know that one.
The,
When they're
the
ashamed
shark,
to talk about it,
the Led Zeppelin shark incident was actually there was a groupie.
She was 15.
Yeah,
By the
she
way.
was 15 and in a bathtub getting smacked by a dead mackerel or something.
It was a mud shark, and the hotel where they stayed, you could actually, like, the thing was you could fish out the windows. I'm not kidding you. And so they were fishing out the windows, and they were all partying, and somebody fished in a mud shark and started slapping her with the mud shark.
We've
then-
all been
and
at
it turned
parties like
into-
that.
Right?
And it turned into fed her to the sharks.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
funny.
Well, the problem with that is that Peter Grant, the manager of Led Zeppelin, made up a bunch of what everybody thinks is the way Led Zeppelin was. They,
Sounds like a buddy of mine.
yeah, listen, I watched, not too long ago, I watched an interview with Robert Plant, and he was talking about how it fit their persona that they were putting forth, because the media really wasn't the music press. If they followed Zeppelin at all, they were slamming them. I mean, even Rolling Stone said they sucked. They since retracted that and said, "Ooh, we were wrong," but so they made up a lot of that legend of them being, rock gods.
Yeah,
I got-
they kind of put that whole persona out there, and I actually did find the Mars bar story. If you want to hear it,
Yes.
and actually, I have heard this story before. In February 1967, it was alleged that 19 police officers began yet another raid and swarmed Keith Richards' home, finding the group in a more than compromising position. Allegedly, reports suggested that they had interrupted an orgy of in which Jagger had been licking a Mars candy bar pushed into Marianne Faithfull's schmurch. Naturally, those rumors have been heavily denied by all involved. Even Marianne Faithfull said it was a dirty old man's fantasy. And that's out of faroutmagazine.co.uk.
Well, I mean, I don't put it past anyone. Never mind. I listen.
Well, that's going to upset the balance in your
Just when I thought Sunday wasn't going to get any fucking weirder, I get the Mars bar story.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but I mean,
you're welcome.
people have, okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. People stick very strange things, not just females, but males also. I've seen it in jail. They stick very strange things in orifices, and having a Mars bar stuck in there would not surprise me.
I've been doing
If it
things
wasn't-
wrong for years because I never even thought of doing any of this stuff.
But if these things weren't meant to go in there, they wouldn't fit, would they?
Well, you can always push something in to make it
Actually,
fit.
that is
Unfortunately, it will
inaccurate.
expand.
I mean, yeah, your butthole expands up to like 9 inches or something
It's science.
ridiculous.
At the end of the day,
Wow,
you
good to
wouldn't,
know.
you wouldn't tell.
Thanks a lot.
Just in case you wanted to know,
Oh.
Dungeon Dan.
Yeah,
no sleeping
you wouldn't
tonight.
tell Nikola Tesla to stop pushing the boundaries, would you? You know, you
If he
wouldn't
was
tell Edison.
There's
to
still
stop-
room, buddy.
Yeah,
Well, what about the rumors that Richard Gere had gerbils up his
rumors.
Yeah.
alleged? Hey, I'm not getting sued by Richard Gere. I don't need gerbils up my
I'm sure
ass.
he doesn't, or any of his publicists watch this.
we're-
But yes,
Oh,
that,
what's the cartoon where he's being interviewed? I think it's Family Guy,
hmm
but I forget what it is. But it basically just has gerbil
I
in peril,
believe it
and
was.
it runs away or something while he's being interviewed. I forget what it was, but it's like, oh, you're going to be in court come Monday. But
Remember
yeah,
the
it's-
gerbil when it got back to its cage, going, "Dude, you are not going to believe what happened to me today."
yeah, they'll call him out on it. They're like, shut up.
Why do you
Let
smell
me-
like
let me-
ass?
Let me
Literally.
smell you a little bit.
Yeah, it smells like him.
But yeah, I mean, trust me, there are
Oh my god.
yes.
the Rod
yes,
Stewart story about how they had to pump.
Out of his
plenty
fluids out of his
yes.
stomach.
of
Mhm.
things have been stuck up people's behinds. It's called keystering, just an FYI.
hmm
And it happens regularly, more regularly than what it should.
Yeah, I learned that from Get Hard. Good film.
Well, you got to figure there's a reason behind the body cavity search.
Ricky, I'm never going to get hard again after this one.
That was a
Oh,
good
don't-
movie.
Don't you lie to me, Dan. Don't you lie to me.
Hmm.
That was a good movie.
Oh, it's a damn good movie.
I keep trying to move it back to urban legends, but you guys are really stuck on stuff up butts.
This,
So-
this is
Well, we're
Hey,
leaking out of
added
them.
We're
one for a
still- we're
reason.
We're still trying to figure out where anal leakage comes from. Okay, we're still
I
on
blame
that.
her.
Mars bars.
History.
Mars bars, apparently.
Anal leakage.
Yeah, that was like.
Olestra.
I think we're going on a month now.
Oh yeah, no, that was from like
Oh, it's
Olestra. That was that fat. God,
Oh,
remember they had
the fake oil stuff.
the fake
the
oil,
anal
yeah. And if you
yeah.
ate enough of them, you would have anal
Anal
leakage.
leakage.
We've had many varied conversations about it, and none of them
A lot of them with aliens and causing
none
anal
of them
leakage.
should ever be broadcast, but they are recorded forever. So
Pretty sure Jason brought up anal leakage.
This time or last time?
every time.
He's either frozen or he's
No, he seems like he's really exhausted today. You better buck up, pal.
I feel
That's
fine.
it. That's all I get.
No,
4 seconds to get
That's
a
all he
read.
could muster. Yeah,
He's off his game.
real
Yeah.
slow
Story
today,
of
there,
The
pal.
party held by the band Queen, where one of the entertainers was smoking a cigarette with her hoo-ha.
I've
Ow.
heard that one.
How do you get that
Yeah.
much
It
suction?
was actually
there's shows in
There's-
Spain that do that.
As someone who has seen strippers shoot ping pong balls,
Yeah, that actually happens.
it's I
Yeah.
guess they're talking serious kegels. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but that would be one thing to project it out. But
Hmm.
for that to,
Yeah.
that's a scary.
It doesn't work like a lung unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, it
You're right, it
does.
doesn't.
There's-
We
there's-
cannot
there's
breathe through
shows
that.
There's shows in Benidorm, Ibiza that do that kind of thing. Or so I've heard.
I don't know. I've never researched it. Thank you.
Good cover, Ricky. Good cover.
It's bookmarked on my porn sites.
Virginia Beach? No, actually, that was Guam. Damn it, that was in Guam.
Population
And-
10.
And you know what the
Fucking
name
people.
Guam stands for?
Oh, I bet you're going to tell
Supposedly.
us.
Give up and masturbate.
Mm-hmm. I knew. I just didn't want. I wanted them to have it.
Wait.
Since we're going to talk about
Get to
weird
that.
hoo-ha shit, I'm
Teeth?
sorry. I was interrupting.
Oh my god.
Stop
I
it.
still have nightmares
Stop
about that film.
Yes.
I've got to go shortly, but just to bring it back to a story that sort of affects both England and the States. You've probably got your own versions over there, but we've got one called the Pendle Witches, and there's been shows and all sorts of stuff done about it. Once again, I'm going to go back to the source material to give an explanation of it. But the UK has a long and storied history of witchcraft, and nowhere is this more apparent than in the town of Pendle Hill, Lancashire, England. In the early 1600s, 12 men and women, now referred to as the Pendle Witches, were accused of practicing witchcraft and promptly put on trial. 10 of the accused were executed, and according to locals, they've been haunting the town ever since. The trial is known as an especially gruesome one. The execution of the Pendle Witches accounted for 2% of the total witch executions in all of England. So obviously you guys have got quite a few over there as well. Visitors to the Pendle Hill now report hearing the screams of the condemned at night before they were hanged. So, and also feelings of immense anger when they're in the vicinity of where they were put to death. So what are your opinions on the whole? Obviously you've got Salem is sort of your version of Pendle Witches. Were there witches? Were innocents killed while the witches got away? Were some of both captured and killed?
Yeah.
Jen, obviously this, and Jason, this kind of goes to you folks because of conversations we've had in the past.
I don't buy into the witch thing. I think that was just a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah, most of the witch.
Yeah, he's gone
just
again.
innocent
That's the
people get
witches.
What?
Sorry, Dan, you died there, bud. You died. You said
You dropped off, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
when you
time warping,
started
guys. I'm
talking
sorry. Doctor Who just showed up and he's messing with me.
it's the Pendle Witches.
No, I was just saying I don't really buy into the whole witch thing from the 1800s. I think that was, that was all born out of fear, and a lot of innocent women were killed for no reason.
Men too.
Yeah.
In Salem in the 1600s.
Yeah. I said 1800s. This is how illiterate I am.
Fine.
I should have Googled it like, a normal person. But no, I think it was just a mass hysteria. They were just so wrapped up in their religion. And that just feeds into my other theories of why you don't trust clergymen. Sorry.
Watcher.
That's my phone that scared me. I'm like, whoa.
It's the Pendle Witches again. Or it's
Thanks, Richard.
They're like, woo, ha, he's on our side. I agree. I think that a lot of it was just some mass hysteria. I think that a couple of girls started it because they got in trouble doing something they shouldn't have. And they blamed everything on witchcraft back then. Everything was witchcraft.
Yeah,
even though
everything.
they went to those same people who were considered healers in the group, who were considered midwives. The doctor who was, the midwife, the female doctor who was hung because being a female and being smart enough to be a doctor, it must be witchcraft.
Right.
And I mean,
I've got to agree 100% there. Let's be honest.
There's a lot of historical evidence to support that. There's a lot of the witch hunts were a method of putting down girl power. There's women
in
were
some cases when they were.
Well, I mean, most of Western Europe was pagan until the Christians came in and started taking like the old pagan shrines to the goddess. They turned into shrines to the Virgin Mary.
They happen all over the place. You look at
yes.
the Parthenon in Rome.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah, we've got some old school gods over here.
Yeah, and it was all women had too much power, so men created the witchcraft scare to take away powerful women.
the church.
It was everything in Salem was it was
Oh, they're back.
just people talking about each other. It was the odd woman out. It was a money grab. We actually, my friend and I have a podcast, and we did an episode on Salem, and it was really just sobering because it wasn't anything to do with the witches at all. There were absolutely nothing to do with witches. It was just innocent people put to death, and some people like absolutely played into it. They, they just made the most of it. And they would do that, and to spite other people, to get other people into trouble, or, they would know that they were in trouble. So they would take everybody down with them. So,
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you guys do another Salem podcast, get Scott Baker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Baker
Yeah.
knows a
Scott
lot. I'll hook
Baker,
you up with him.
He
Okay.
used to work at Salem. He was part of their historian something. He was like a duty historian at Salem.
He's a huge history buff in the first place.
Yeah.
But this man, he has a very vast amount of knowledge in all sorts of different areas. I had no clue he knew about Salem as well.
Yeah, he actually worked there for like a year.
Wow,
Wow.
Mr. Smarty Pants.
I guess so.
But before I was so rudely cut off by my internet, thank you so much. I do believe that it was a lot of mass hysteria, and I believe that it was, you've got the males in the church who, I don't want to come off like a man hater because I'm not. But the then was very, very toxic. It was a very terrible situation for any female or anyone who was, not white male. Back then, it was a bad situation. And I really believe that those they caused a lot of the hysteria on a lot of things. They also came up with the whole vampire thing. They came up with the whole werewolf thing. They did that to scare people, and especially people who were in the healing arts and the people who were the midwives and brought babies into the world, because women were idiots. That's what I was getting at. It was, according to them, women are idiots and we are too stupid to know how to do any of this stuff. But, if they needed a serum to have their mistress abort a child, they were sure at our doors back then. That is me grouping myself in with witches. So, witches we were witches until, it was a bad thing, until it was something that they didn't like, until, up until then, everybody loved us and we were considered the healer. But then the witch hysteria started, and then we were the witches. We were the terrible people. We were the ones who were eating babies in the middle of the night. It was just, it's insane.
Yeah, I find it incredibly convenient that man, their inability to keep it zipped is blamed on women.
Every time.
Women. It's all your fault.
Yes. We are evil. We are temptresses.
How convenient.
Well, and if you actually look up in Webster's dictionary, I had posted this for a group that is one of my witchcraft groups. Witch in the Webster's dictionary is just any female. It'll say, number 1, it's an old woman. Number 2, a hag. Number 3, a young, beautiful woman who is a temptress. You might as well just say it's a female. Just any female, because you kind of got everybody in there, because a hag, you could consider a hag to be one of the old, it doesn't even have to be old, just someone who's ugly or someone who is unattractive to someone else. They can be considered a hag. And right there, you've got every single female in that definition. And it's still a definition in the Webster's dictionary. And I'm pretty sure that is that's not exactly how people who call themselves a witch would describe themselves. I don't describe myself as a hag, and I don't describe myself as a young, beautiful temptress when I'm saying witch. When I say witch, I am a practitioner of witchcraft.
Jason, I saw that smirk.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting little bit of trivia.
Is he frozen or is he just?
No, he's
It was
just
nice.
constipated.
I've heard how Jen described herself.
I'm
Here's-
that bitch.
Here's a little bit of trivia. The word
Here you go.
slut, which
Oh, I
has
don't
such,
know this
which
one.
has such negative connotations,
Yeah.
was first used by Geoffrey Chaucer. He used the word sluttish to describe a man,
Huh.
but somehow it got transmogrified
Yeah.
to mean
It
women.
morphed. It's amazing how it morphs.
I've always found it fascinating that a guy could go out and fuck everything that moves, and he's a
Good,
hero.
son.
He's a man.
And,
That's my boy.
a woman doesn't even have to.
We dress a certain way and we're called a slut. We don't even
Yeah.
have to give it up.
All you have to do is wake up, and you're called a slut.
That's true.
Which, which on the face of it, if you look at it objectively, a slut is someone who really enjoys sex.
Aren't
I
we all
don't know.
sluts then?
As a guy,
I know I am if that's the case.
as a guy,
Yeah, point.
that's the kind of woman I would want. So how that ended up being
A
a
bad thing?
negative connotation, yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Guys not getting any. It's not hard.
Yes, they did.
I mean, it doesn't
Right.
matter because a lot of, I mean, if we're going to sit here and talk about women's issues, although I want to bring it back to urban legends, but if we're, in which actually there's quite a few urban legends that are kind of geared towards don't have premarital sex because this will happen to you. One of which was the guy with the hook coming to the door. Don't go to Lover's Lane or you're going to get the hook. But, women's issues, it's just we've always been looked at as a lesser species, a lesser being. However, I think that table is definitely turning, and I don't want to overdo it as much as some people are doing it because you can overdo it where, then the man is the bad guy. I don't believe that either. I believe in a balance.
No, it's just deflection. You know why women have gotten the short end of the straw? It's because you guys are so much better than we are.
Now you're
Let's
talking
face it,
about.
any
For
relationship,
yourself, Jeff. I'm fucking awesome.
any relationship, the
Humble
person,
and modest
the
too.
person who wears the pants in any successful relationship is a woman. They actually did a psychological study where they interviewed like 5,000 different couples. And the ones who had the most successful, long-lasting relationships were the ones in which the men essentially said, yes, dear. Give the woman what she wants, everybody's happy.
You've upset Jen now, Jeff.
Yeah. She'll be killing me
He's
later, I'm
talking to
sure. So, Cromwell and his ministers. I'd say yes. They did go after anybody who bucked their politics.
Yeah, I think politicians today would do the same thing if they could.
At my house, what I say goes right out the window.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you on that one, Tim. Right, I am going to love you and leave you. I'm shattered. I'm going to go and hit the hay. So sorry to bail out a little bit early, folks, but I'll see you on the next one.
Bye, boobies.
Adios, sir.
Bye.
Bye, Ricky.
Bye.
Hi, Carol.
And now we're
funny.
down to 5 plus Tim and Rachel Day and whoever else is
Oh, Auntie Rachel.
hanging out with us.
Shut
Can
up.
we drop that subject? Because I'm about to ask where that flat Earth motherfucker is.
Oh no. No, 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 no. No need to do that. No.
Jesus.
So, Dan,
You
staying away from that rabbit hole.
I've never gone out and looked at an urban legend or followed one. I know that the town I grew up in had one, and looking back, it's the same story everywhere. We used to call it the Wailing Woman. Drowned her kids back at the dam in the back of town.
Yep.
You can catch her out there at night, her ghost crying, looking for her kids.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what, really? You don't know where you drowned them? You should remember that. That was, I mean, there was some talk around my small town about possibly some type of Bigfoot type of thing, but that one never really caught on very well because, I mean, it was northern Arizona. You don't have sightings of Bigfoot there.
No, he's called something different there.
Yeah, Mountain Man, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I think he'd die if he was that furry living in Arizona. It's hot as hell there.
Well, you know, up in the mountains, it's a lot different. I
That's
grew up
true.
in Williams. So, you know, wintertime was a lot of snow and cold.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime, you had a lot of heat, you know, but it was mainly just July.
Huh.
But yeah, Jen, you got to get out of that Phoenix for a little while and go up into the mountains where it's really cool. Nice.
I'm in Ohio now. I'm going to see plenty of snow here coming soon.
Yeah, you guys are going to outdo us.
I
Well,
hear
them.
Monday. So,
Really?
yeah, I heard
Blurry.
Monday. Yep. Yep. I'm not looking
Yeah,
for it. I was not ready.
Not to be too happy
According,
about it.
according
There
to
you
the
are.
almanac, according to poor Richard, whatever the almanac, Farmer's Almanac, this winter's gonna suck.
That's fabulous.
But they say that every year.
They do say that every year, but you know,
Well, no,
this is
they,
gonna
no, they
suck.
don't. Actually, the Farmer's Almanac is more accurate than 90% of the meteorologists out there.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much since they get paid to be wrong all the time.
Even in Arizona, and you can't screw that up. It's either
Yeah.
raining or sunny, one of two, and you
It's
still
gonna
get
be
it wrong.
fucking hot.
Yeah.
Thank
Hot.
you.
Yeah.
Reminds me
Let's
of
go
that
to
Steve.
sports.
You guys ever see that Steve Martin movie where he's the weatherman and he literally does a whole week's worth? And it'll be
LA story.
Yeah, and
LA
then he takes
story.
off and he leaves state, and it like rains the next day. And he's sitting there going, "Oh, we got sunny skies, no chance of rain."
That's funny.
So,
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. But I
Me-
think I don't know if you guys, because my internet cut out again, but the hook man that I was talking about before I got cut off, you know, I remember hearing about that and hearing about, you know, oh, you don't, you know, there's always those people lurking in the bushes. You know, somebody's always trying to kill you in the bushes. You know, it's just like that got so old so quick. It's like you keep threatening me every time I walk out the door. I'm not going to believe it, and then somebody really is going to be lurking in the bushes, and I'm going to be like, "Who are you? Who did my parents hire you? You're not scaring me."
right.
You know?
It's the
Probably
same
why I'm not
thing-
afraid of a lot of things.
It's the same thing with the guy in the back seat,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Watch
and
it.
and basically the entire slasher movie genre.
Oh, now they have graduated to online stuff where Facebook sends out like people on Facebook and in the messenger and on posts. Oh, ladies, you got to beware. Somebody, you know, is trying to get into your car. They say that they hit you or they leave a note and this, that, and the other. And there's always somebody that check your back seats. It's like, if you're in my back seat, have fun because I drive like a maniac. I listen to my music too loud and I'm smoking 800 cigarettes. You're going to die of emphysema before you ever get to pull your knife out.
Absolutely.
Good fucking luck.
Well, what was the one?
Come at me, bro.
We used to, well, now there's like the zip ties on your handle. Watch out for zip ties on your handle.
I
because
did
it's
hear
human
that
trafficking.
one was true. Yes, I did hear that one was true.
What was the one when I was in high school? It was something dropped by the side of your car. When you lean over to pick it up, then they'll.
Oh, you guys in Perrysburg had it so bad with all the girls. Better watch out. You're going to get taken in the parking lot of your school. If you teachers can't figure out how to get, even we had security. We had security in high school. You and I are not that far apart.
Right.
We had security in high school.
We did.
If your security, right, pretty much. If your security guards are not paying attention to you in the parking lot, then I'm sorry, you've got a bigger issue because you're in a school full of people and nobody notices that there's randos in the parking lot dropping shit by people's car doors. You've got a bigger problem, bro. It's just I love it, and the parents always did that. Oh, you got to be careful, you're in your school parking lot.
What about the urban legend where oh god, there was all this gang activity was happening, and if somebody's driving with their lights on, do not flash your lights at them because they'll shoot you.
Yes, it's an initiation,
and I'm actually still kind of afraid to flash my lights at people.
I am not gonna lie, I am too. But I mean, that was one of the ones that worked, I guess. But it was like they have so many that, and I guess why does it seem like they're targeting women in these things, or am I just going overboard?
No, all of them.
It's like, oh,
women.
Girls be careful. Girls be careful. You've got everyone's afraid to come out. You've conditioned a whole generation of agoraphobes. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like Tetris.
Rachel. And that is a great reason to keep your car a mess. So many different things in your back seat. That is exactly why you should carry everything that you own in your car.
It's self-defense.
It is. No, officer, I don't live in my car. I'm keeping myself safe. Can't anybody get in the back seat?
Damn right.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, what I'm finding is happening a lot more because I'll drive back and forth to Detroit for work. And, on my drives, it's a lot more prevalent that people just aren't paying attention. That's why so many people are driving without their goddamn lights on because they're not freaking paying attention. They turn on their parking lights, but they're dicking around on their phone. They're not even paying attention. So that's what that's all about. And I've just, what do you do? I mean, yes, I do kind of, get over my fear of getting shot. I'm like, well, I had a good run, but I'm just going to tell this guy that his lights aren't on, and it's just, it seems like it's an epidemic, really. And maybe there are so many people because people don't want to get shot telling somebody that their lights are out. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's best that we don't. Maybe it's best we just don't get involved.
Or maybe it's because any fucking idiot can get a driver's license.
True. That's true.
Proof around here, that's for sure. This guy's driving.
I always, when I was driving a big rig, I always did it with the attitude that everybody else on the road with me was the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. And you wouldn't believe how often I was right.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was learning how to ride a motorcycle, like one of the first lessons, like the cardinal rule is everybody's out to get you. So always be a defensive driver. Always be on the defense when you're on a motorcycle because everybody is out to get you. And it's true. Like, it's scary. It can be really terrifying. if you're not careful.
Yeah, the way I heard it described was always ride like you're invisible,
Yes.
because that's how people treat you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, no thanks. I like steel around me.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I have not gotten my motorcycle yet.
Now, one of those trikes would be cool. Some of those trikes are pretty cool.
They are pretty cool, but you have, well, at least in the state of Ohio, if you are going to ride a trike, when you need to go through a series of classes to learn how to ride the trike. You can't just go through a motorcycle training
Right.
course because of the weight. I mean, it's just completely different because it's, the weight is distributed over 3 wheels rather than just 2.
Right,
So,
right. Stability and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I when I was learning how to ride a motorcycle, and somebody was talking about my uncle has a fake leg and he's learning how to ride a trike and la la la, and I was like, yeah, my uncle has 2 glass eyes and he's learning how to ride a trike, and people were like, what? Tink tink.
Trikes can be dangerous. I mean, I can remember being a little kid riding a normal trike, and every time I'd go for a sharp turn, that's when you.
I think we're all
Are
having
you guys
problems.
back? We're all having it.
We're all having issues.
Yesterday my internet was perfect, not a glitch all day
Of
long.
course.
Of course.
That's how it works.
So,
Oh, what's this?
yes, Tim. Greatest Western of all time.
Agreed. Next to maybe Tombstone.
That's an awfully good one.
Runner
I
up.
like Tombstone.
Yeah.
And who can forget the original Magnificent Seven?
Watched that recently. Still holds up.
It does. It does. What it has to do with urban legends, I have no idea.
When I was in elementary school, I used to check out this book, and it was all about urban legends and things like that, just like strange tales. Why they had it in an elementary school library, I will never know. But I checked that book out so many times, and I would read through it. I would just be like, and then I'd, Mom. But one that got me the most, the chapter that got me the most is spontaneous human combustion. Of course, the stories of people sitting on the turlet, and then all of a sudden somebody walks in and there's just like a charred leg and nothing left.
Right.
I
Where the feet are still standing up and everything else has been burned.
Yes,
Yeah, it's crazy.
lost,
That actually is Taco Bell.
right? I lost so many nights of sleep as an 8-year-old child for fear I was going to spontaneously just combust.
That's
And
so
my
funny.
dad was like, Amy, you're not going to spontaneously combust. And they still bring it up every once in a while. And I'm just like, oh, how do you know that? How is this happening? So they actually like put a ban. Like this was my first book banning. I was no longer allowed to read this book or check it out of the library because I would read it and be like, oh, am I going to spontaneously combust? Do I have to hold my breath and lift my feet when I pass a cemetery?
That's another one. Yeah.
Do I, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? Do I have to, what was the one with sneezing? Put a sign of the cross over your mouth when you're sneezing so nothing goes. I lost a lot of sleep as a kid. And that book, oh my God, my dad was like, you are not checking that book out from the library anymore. We can't worry about you spontaneously you combusting. So, I mean, those were like all urban legends. And yeah, I mean, it just, why they had that.
Just
Why
don't
did they
want to
have that
stand
book
there
for
and just
kids?
explode?
Well, that's what I thought was going to happen. I'd just be having my dinner with my family and all of a sudden nothing,
Yep.
I mean, what the hell?
And
That's
all of a sudden, you're the drummer from Spinal Tap.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. They had to keep getting new drummers. Freak
You guys watch that
accidents.
movie Spontaneous, which is based on that type of legend?
No.
Oh, it's great. A bunch of high school kids just explode one at a time. Nobody knows how or why.
Yeah, that's probably not something I should watch.
But who cares?
But it's actually a teen love story.
Oh my god.
But of course,
What else can I
Fire in
say
their
to-
loins for one another.
I don't know, but there's one scene where they're all running down the hall.
if your loins are burning that hot, you got problems, buddy.
They got crabs or something.
Yeah.
So they're running down the hall.
Oh, and everybody's exploding, and they show a scene where the kid's hopping down the stairway. And it's just this gush of gore and blood coming down the stairs after him. It was awesome.
I was convinced that was going to happen at Glenwood Elementary School in Rossford, Ohio. Cuts a little too close to home.
Well, we're not doing that because I'm not rocking Amy to sleep.
Don't
No.
worry. If you're watching it with her, you only get through 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'll pass out.
I'm good. I don't need to tempt fate. Mm-mm. It's been 39 years since I've thought about that. And guess what? I won't be sleeping tonight.
Shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I'll be calling my parents in the Bahamas. Mom, am I going to spend days like a bus? God damn it.
I told you not to read that book. I didn't. I was just remembering that I read it.
And then I was always told, you're so sensitive. You know, like I was the kid who would read the obituaries and just be like, one time my mom, our grandpa was watching us and just, I read a really sad obituary. I was like 7.
You just
And-
randomly read obituaries when you were a kid?
Well, there was a story about, and it was a very sad story about these siblings who drowned in a pool and they were buried in the same casket. They were buried holding each
Together.
other.
Right.
And yeah, no, I would read the newspaper front to back when I was a
Wow.
kid. And my parents would have to take it away from me because I would read it and just be like, and I would just be a mess for days.
God.
Absolutely a mess for days. And my mom was like, God damn it, Dad. You know, she can't read the newspaper. He's like, she's 7. I didn't know she was reading the newspaper. But of course, I would go right to what I wasn't supposed to read.
Naturally.
Yeah. And then be like, of course, I would also emerge from the bathroom with questions about, Mom, what's a vagina? She's like, what? Where did you hear that word? I just wondered. You didn't just wonder. Or were you reading my tampon box? No. So that's where babies come from. No more questions. But I always would, I'm just wondering. That's a blowjob. What? Heard that one on Bachelor
I
Party.
heard it at school.
No, I heard that one on Bachelor Party because of these, they would come out and I'd be like, my mom would be like, no.
Poor mother.
My aunt would always be like, I got you. I'll tell you later. And then,
What ants are
ew,
for.
why would you want to do that? I don't know.
You'll figure it out later.
But perhaps I've said too much.
So Rachel gives us Fire in Their Loins. I don't know if that sounds more like a romance novel or a PSA.
A little both. It's a precautionary tale.
It could be.
It's like that Bob Seger song, Fire Down Below. I used to say when I worked at IoT, and I was like, if you've got that fire down below, you better go see a doctor because that's not right.
Oh my God.
A lot more than Taco Bell happening there.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Taco Bell.
And it came around full circle.
and now that we're being sued by the Taco Bell Corporation,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they keep bringing stuff back. brought back the enchilada, brought back nacho fries, brought back the Mexican pizza.
And they still don't make it well. Brought back the old recipes. They're still not able to make them.
All the old recipes included diarrhea. All right, I don't know where you got confused.
There's no confusion.
No.
That is the Russian roulette you are willing to play at 2:30 in the morning after the bar closes.
Yep.
Because it's always a great idea. Always.
Mhm.
Wake up with half-eaten burritos all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck? That was a
What did
good
I
night.
do?
You don't
Get that
buy
first
Taco Bell,
gurgle.
you rent it.
Yes.
With us, it was always White Castle
Oh man.
because they were open at like 2 in the morning.
They call those sliders for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never brave enough to attempt a White Castle after drinking. Ours was Big Boy or Frisch's.
Mm-hmm.
Big Boy's open 24. And then you get the big breakfast and you're good to go all day the next day.
Are you though?
I mean,
No.
you're definitely not
No.
hungry. Definitely
Sure.
not hungry.
I don't know. Maybe you guys are just doing it wrong. After a full night of drinking, I'm eating like the entire next day. Like I don't.
No.
Shit, you've done this with me and seen me consume like 3 pizzas over the course of an afternoon.
It's because I'm like, yes, I want pizza too again.
All right, and this is not an urban legend. Bagel and cream cheese and a ginger ale. That is the best thing you can do for your hangover because get your sugar back up and you get those carbs.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna chug pickle juice.
Wow.
Chances are pickle juice had something to do with why I'm in the state I'm in the next day. Pickle shots.
Yeah, no, I definitely chug the pickle juice. Pickle juice worked for me if I just don't feel well.
Is she actually talking about pickles?
I discovered when I was on Guam, as a matter of fact, that
Oh.
Chinese food is a great preventative for hangovers. We went out one night, and the amount of alcohol we consumed was a crime against humanity.
I love how you describe stuff.
Oh, man. And we stopped as we were stumbling the way back to the ship. We stopped at this Chinese place. And we were just. Next morning, none of us had hangovers.
You be kidding.
I don't
And
know
that-
what was in that, but it worked.
Just that one experience.
Probably sodium. Sodium helped
Yeah, I
you
was
out.
gonna say the,
Sure.
the MSG.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
And
did
all
that,
the rice absorbed the alcohol.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
I did the same
Mhm.
thing in China, and I was blowing rice for hours. I'm serious.
Was that his name or?
Oh, you memorized?
You little guy too. Had
He was a
boobs and all.
nice guy. Anyway.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
He's up there with bubbles.
And then you got into a threesome with Rice and his brother Beans and
Roni.
The family pet. You know,
Yes, indeed.
When my friends and I were
Is he
in
froze?
I
Oh, I thought you were
No.
froze for a second.
my friends and I were in Florida over the summer. We always go real hard. And
Yeah.
my friend was making like margaritas, but she was like, we need a little bit of some carbonation in these margaritas because we're already shift-fast. It's like 3 o'clock. No, not even. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We were done anyhow. And so she's like in the kitchen and she's, doing this mango vodka. Okay. So she wasn't making margaritas. I told you we were messed up. Anyway, so she made this concoction with mango vodka and coconut rum. And then the base was Topo Chico seltzers. And
God.
we couldn't
Sounds terrible.
actually, they were good though.
Were they?
Oh, yes. She could not figure out. She's like, how did we get so messed up? She goes, I use that Topo Chico as a base. I'm like, Topo Chico seltzers, dumbass. There's alcohol in those. So
Your base was the alcohol.
yeah, and then
more alcohol.
yeah. So then there's like pictures of all of us, which I don't know why we allow pictures when we get to that state. But there's like one or two pictures of me where I'm sitting off in the back, and I'm doing the one eye, and I'm trying to text, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know who I was texting then. I can only imagine who I was texting then. It was after all those Topo Chico vodka rum mixers or whatever. I mean, it was just, yeah. There are urban legends now of middle-aged women from Ohio running amok in Florida, swimming in canals and peeing in yards.
They have Florida man, we have Ohio women.
We were, yeah. So there were definitely some transplants there. There are some urban legends. We are definitely legends in our own mind. That's for sure.
Ever been to a garbage can party?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Harry
God.
Buffalo. Harry
There's
Buffalo,
so
same
many
thing,
names
right?
for 'em. Yeah, so many names for them.
Yeah.
Trash can party, the Harry Buffalo. I've heard a few different names for them, but yeah, I always make sure is that a brand new garbage can, please?
Yeah.
I don't want one that the raccoons have eaten out of already.
I mean, at that point, what does it really matter? You're just going to be
mean,
drinking it tomorrow.
I guess I
anyways.
need to drink first.
If you make it to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Harry Buffalo. Hey, you got to have the fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a mistake.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we should have one of those, Amy. Trash can party.
No.
I'm good.
No. Those
I'm
are
getting too old for that
designed.
stuff.
Those are designed for 20-year-old livers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting I'm not 20 anymore.
No.
Hey, but we can have 20-year-olds over.
And laugh
And
at
watch them.
Yeah, watch them.
Yeah, sure.
There she is.
It's
Hey, you old enough to bring alcohol to the party? Well, are you at least 18?
Okay.
Wink, wink.
Oh, that's
Are there
somebody's
messed
checked
up.
out.
urban legends that include cougar women and young men? I'm sure there's gotta be.
No, that's a fact.
There's gotta be.
I mean, that can go really good for you guys, or a Czech liver light is coming on at some point. That's
Yeah.
My Czech liver light broke a long time ago.
Oh, God. Yes.
oh, shut up! It's not always about you.
Oh man. So what? Okay, so the urban legend that terrified me obviously was the legend of the spontaneous combustion.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What kept you awake as a child?
I never really had one that kept me awake.
Oh,
I'd hear it and I think it was a nice story, and then I'd move on with my life.
I'll see.
All
I
right,
would
well-
dwell.
Jen, you know what
Yeah,
I was
I
raised
know.
in. I liked hiking.
You
know,
were
being out the
raised
woods
in an
and everything.
urban legend.
Yeah, well, we'll touch on that another day. But no, I liked hiking, being out in the forest, just fucking off, basically. And all those stories you hear about, the bell or the tree stump with like something you've wanted in it. Yeah. No, fuck you. I have been terrified of that shit since I was a small child.
Yes.
If I ever see that, that was the only time you will see my fat ass turn into a track star. I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
There are things you don't fuck with.
Yep.
Wait.
Did
Oh,
you hear my
thanks.
question? I wanted to know what kept you awake at night as a child. What urban legend?
Me?
Yeah. everybody.
Anybody.
I don't know. I was thrown off because when I came back on, everybody looked so serious. I'm like, what the fuck happened in this short 30 seconds I was out?
Who died?
Dropped a
Yeah.
bomb.
We
Probably-
we just watched you spontaneously combust.
Combust.
Mhm.
Yeah,
How you
But I'm
made it
back.
back? I know.
I'm supernatural.
It must be.
Urban legends didn't really scare me. It was the movies I watched. I couldn't sleep for a month after watching Food of the Gods because I thought gigantic rats were going to be outside the yard anytime. Mind you, I'm from a very small town up in the mountains of Arizona. Anything's possible.
That's true.
Yeah, everything out there is trying to kill you.
hmm
Yeah.
It's like Australia light.
Yes,
Mm,
yes, it is.
Yeah.
You guys heard of the Bell Witch? Is that urban legend or is that something real?
That is an urban legend.
Is it?
hmm
What a shame. It's a good story.
Yeah.
I never bought into urban legends because, well, essentially I blame my parents. My dad used to wake me and my brother up when we were little kids so we could watch a late night showing of King Kong with him.
Cool.
You know,
Huh.
when you're 4, 5, 6 years old, this fucks up a mind. And then my parents would do shit like they took us to see The Godfather in the theater
Oh, for God's sake.
and The Omen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are all movies that I wasn't allowed to watch. My mom was very anti. I wasn't even allowed to watch Freddy Krueger. I just
Oh, God.
was never one of those people that just got scared. I mean, in the moment, yeah, but I have the gift of forgetting, and I don't remember the movie that I watched it 5 minutes ago. So,
Freddy Krueger was actually based on a true
True
story.
story. Yep.
hmm
Was it?
Yes, it was. There was a family who escaped the killing fields of Cambodia,
Okay.
came to the United States, and one of their children was so afraid to sleep because he would have nightmares that they were going to get him and kill him. And he wouldn't sleep. He didn't sleep for days. Finally, he did fall asleep, and somewhere in the middle of the night, they heard a blood-curdling scream. They went to check on him, and he was dead.
Oh,
And Wes Craven, he's actually mentioned this on panels and in interviews and things like that, that inspired the Freddy Krueger thing, that inspired that whole story. And honestly, I feel like with that poor kid, he was obviously super traumatized, sleep deprived, and I don't think his heart could handle the terrifying.
right.
probably
yeah,
malnourished too.
If he
yeah.
hadn't
Mhm.
if he hadn't slept in a week,
Yes.
his body chemistry was all fucked up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
So it wouldn't take that much to tip the scale
Over the edge. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you get paranoid after a certain number of days of no sleep.
Mhm.
Rachel has this comment, the stairway in the forest that leads to nowhere.
Yep.
I saw a movie recently. I think it was on Netflix that they made a movie about the stairway that leads to nowhere.
I just
You know
read.
what? I've seen that one.
Yeah. It was
I just
kind of
read about one.
silly where the kid goes missing underneath the stairs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was kind of silly towards the end, but it was really good up until the end, like most movies.
Did another one where it's just a door in the middle of the woods. That movie sucked. That was not fun at all. I thought it was going to be something cool, like you open it and you walk through, you go into another dimension or something. Nothing cool like that.
That was an interesting plot device in the first of the Gunslinger novels. Stephen King, you guys read those?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I read that one.
The drawing of the three was the first one, and there was a doorway, just a door in the middle of the woods, right there on the beach, and that was how Roland, the gunslinger, went from his world to our world, was through this door.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know, when we were talking about werewolves earlier, does anybody remember? I'm sure somebody remembers the book of short stories by Stephen King, and he actually had a
Riverboat?
short story. Yeah, he had this short story about the werewolf who came in and ravaged that lady, and I'll just never forget it because my friends and I were like, huh? Just talking about how he smelled terrible and la la la, and I was like, Really?
Are you talking Cycle of the Werewolf?
Maybe. I don't know. It was like
It's the one they made. What the hell was that movie? Damn.
Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet.
you said that.
It was made.
He's been saying Silver Bullet. And I'm like, yeah.
He's
It
a
was
bit slow.
made from a short story he wrote
Okay.
called Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah, I read all the shorts. The other one they did was the giant rat in that mill, and I can't remember the name of that one.
Ben?
No, but Ben, I saw Ben as a little kid, scared the hell out of me.
The Late Shift, I think it was called.
Night Shift.
I think,
Shift.
yeah.
Night Shift. That's it.
Yeah. Yes.
And that brings us to 5 minutes left.
Made it just in time for the end.
That's right.
Damn it.
So let's go, Jason. Final thoughts, since you've been such a jabberjaws all day.
What? Hey, you know what?
He
I
has
didn't-
zero
I didn't even know
thoughts.
we were doing this today. You shut your whore mouth.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
What?
Oh,
Look, just because I didn't
shit.
have any thoughts does not mean I lack responses and sarcasm. All right, don't even fucking start.
And
No,
it's a good
I
thing
think,
Jen
you know-
wasn't there, because right now you'd be
When it comes-
bloody.
Yes.
Okay, I've been threatened with worse the entire time I've known her. I'm still here. I'm not fucking scared of anything. Been married twice. Like, what are you gonna do to me now? Way. No, when it comes to
Challenge
urban legends, I think
accepted.
it'd be more like you'd have to get a broader range. Like you've heard some from small towns, big cities, and there's always a different degree of how fucked up they get, depending on it's like pop culture or religion, whatever's the predominant thing wherever it's at. That's just my whole thought. Like you can get alligators in the stores, and apparently the fucking Mothman.
Mothman. Oh boy. Yeah. I've got some
Yeah, I know.
stories that I've heard about
And where does it
Mothman,
go
but-
from urban legend to cryptid?
It's about the same. Don't you think?
Okay, I was sitting there like pondering this the whole time while I was trying to get my brain to fucking work, but that's not happening today.
It's all right.
Not fucking happening.
Could you hit yourself again? I found that kind of fun.
He missed it that one time.
So, Amy,
Sorry, I've
final
been.
thoughts?
My final thought is that I talked way too much today, and I'm sorry.
Absolutely not.
no.
You were
No,
fabulous.
perfect.
No,
Loved
no.
it.
You were making up for a couple of people who had no point, and my dumbass was basically just sitting here as window dressing.
No,
Bad
you were
window.
eye candy.
Ooh, eye candy, Jason.
When?
He hasn't been
Anyway.
called that in a minute.
Thank you for reminding me, cunt.
So much love.
Oh,
So
God.
much love.
You went right to the C word.
He did.
You are brave.
Bringing it back.
So,
Yeah, it's okay. I'm taking it
Jen,
back.
He said, "I'm
so
taking it
Jennifer,
I love urban legends. I think that they have their place. I think the original place for them was to scare teens and children into behaving. And at some point, it was, the adults started believing it, and even some crazy started turning into it. So, which is why you have some serial killers and movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Even the movie Urban Legends. They have always had a place in our lives and our history. However, I think the ones that are more scary are the ones that are more believable. But I also think that people overplay them and that they become not so interesting after a certain amount of time.
I tend to agree with that.
okay.
He's like default response. What she said.
I didn't want to make it that obvious, but
Well, go ahead, Dungeon Dan.
I don't know. I want to talk about this something I saw on another podcast called asshole projection.
What?
You know,
And we're back to anal leakage.
when you you're back. No, asshole projection. You know, you go to sleep and your consciousness wanders around like a
That's
fucking asshole.
astral
It's asshole
projection.
projection.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's astral, not asshole.
You say
Your
it your
mind
way, I
out
say
of
it
the
my
gut.
way.
Tomato, tomato.
I will back Dan up here because it really did. Like, if nobody likes you in person, they're probably not going to like your projection. Just let's be honest.
I'm just thinking of
No.
like a projector, like a planetarium, like coming out of someone's asshole, like projecting onto the ceiling.
Oh, way to feed in. I like that one. This show could have gone really different if we started with that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Ay.
Butt stuff notwithstanding. Jesus.
Butt stuff is an urban legend all on its own, by the way.
The goal is the
Uh-huh.
whole.
Mhm.
Man, you should be selling that on a
Fucking
t-shirt. You'd be making money hand over fist.
How can anybody follow
pun intended.
that?
I got Jason.
Yeah. That didn't take long.
He's gonna be snorting in a minute
Yeah.
here.
On that note, I think we should run screaming away. Thanks
Gonna
as
back away
always
slowly,
to the
man.
panel. Thanks as always to the panel, including Jack, including Ricky,
Yes.
and Tim and Rachel and everybody else.
Yes.
And we'll see you again
In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
All right.
Thank you.
Adios,
Bye.
folks.
Toodles.